Chapter 1. Cobalt. Light slashed across Tia's face, hot and glaring through the lace curtains. She unfurled her eyes, letting herself remember the world. She wondered with calm absurdity if she had died. Brandon gone. It made more sense than anything. Makayla knocked, and Tia almost laughed, certain that she must be a ghost, unseen, unheard. She didn't answer. Makayla entered after a brief delay. Tia sat in bed. Makayla was gazing at the magazine she had just received in the mail. A silent moment hung heavy as Makayla stood in the doorway holding the mail. The look on Makayla's face, part confusion and part disbelief as she read an article in the magazine. She stepped into the room, the soft thud of her footsteps breaking the silence. Tia blinked at her, the bizarre notion of invisibility still teasing her mind. Makayla walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows and pulled the curtains wide open. Tia winced, suppressing a laugh. "Oh my goodness." Makayla looked up from the magazine folded open in her hand. "You're home?" Tia stared, her mind reeling. "You can see me?" Makayla's brow furrowed in a curious arc. "Of course I can." "Oh, that's right." Tia released a heavy breath, settling back against the pillows. "You can see spirits." Makayla raised an eyebrow, a playful grin touching her lips. "I can see people too." She walked over, her steps light and confident, then stopped to look at Tia with growing concern. "Are you feeling okay?" Tia felt the room shrink. The question startled her. "You can touch me?" she said, her voice a thin thread of surprise as Makayla placed her hand on Tia's forehead. Makayla chuckled, letting her hand fall to her side before sitting on the edge of the bed. "Look, I know you miss Brandon, but he will be back in a month. You know Dad wouldn't choose a man he thought would be bad for you." Tia's eyes met Makayla's, the moment breaking like a wave, all humor dissolving into raw emotion. Her vision blurred as tears swelled up, and she clung to Makayla with a desperate embrace. Understanding now what they mean, Tia cries, "Spirits don't miss their living relatives." She took a deep breath between sobs. "I get it. I can always be near you anytime I want." Makayla's gentle smile reappeared. "Well, yeah, if you were a spirit, but you're a beautiful spirit in an amazing meat suit." She pulled back from Tia, tapping her nose with a blue envelope. "This came in the mail." "It's from Korea." Tia stared at the envelope, trying to absorb the casual mention of her spirit-like existence. She pondered Makayla's complex words, Brandon's absence, her own tangible reality. Before she could say more, another knock interrupted her tangled thoughts. The door swung open, and Tamarius entered, his presence as commanding as ever, filling the room with warmth. "Morning," he greeted in a bright, sing-song voice. "Tia, some old guy is here for you." She looked at him bewildered, the question forming before she could stop it. "You can see spirits too?" Tamarius exchanged an amused glance with Makayla, a shared understanding flickering between them. "What is wrong with her?" he asked, his expression a mix of concern and humor. Makayla smirked as she rose from the bed. "Oh, just everything." She grabbed her husband's hand and let him out. "Tia, get dressed." "We'll keep your guest busy while you get ready," she called back, her voice teasing but full of affection. The warmth of their presence lingered as Tia sat, remembering their laughter and love. Outside the room, Makayla leaned her head against Tamarius' shoulder, a small, knowing smile on her lips. Boy, she went from a young Korean guy to this old one. "I think she's losing it." "I believe it's Brandon's grandfather." Tamarius' handsome face illuminates at his wife's comment. "Really? I wonder if Brandon is okay. I hope nothing happened to him." Makayla's tone changed to concern as they began their descent down the grand stairway. "I am sensing something is off, but I don't know what. It's something I've never seen before." Tamarius took his wife's hand, making sure she had a secure anchor as they walked down the stairs. "What do you mean?" "When I first looked at Tia, I could have sworn I saw two of her." "Two?" Makayla stopped as he looked up at her husband. "Did you not see it?" He turned to face her. Makayla fell silent for a moment as she thought it over. She began walking down the stairs again, and Tamarius, still holding her hand, followed. They reached the bottom of the stairs as Makayla tried to wrap her mind around what her husband had seen. I noticed her aura had an extra layer to it. Something is off with her today. His voice faded into a hum of reflection, trailing after them as they moved farther away. Min-ji replayed the conversation she had with Brandon's grandfather before he left for the U.S. She was determined to get what she wanted. Marriage held no interest. Motherhood even less. However, she would do whatever was necessary to get Jung's wealth. Ming-ji was an astute. She did her research and discovered why Brandon was against their marriage. She first attributed it to his Americanization, but now realizes he's fallen for Tia. Min-ji's heart leaped with joy at the exciting news about Tia and her lab partner. She planned to use this information to put an end to Brandon and Tia's relationship. Heartbroken, Brandon focused on his job. She only needed to marry him to stay in America and expand her family's business. She looked at her phone as a notification arrived. The news she had been waiting for. The personal invitations had been delivered. Min-ji would give them time to read the letter and contact them for confirmation. She couldn't wait for her opposition. He saw pictures of her Tia. She looked to be a South Asian and black. Min-ji couldn't care less about her ethnicity, but she knew Brandon's father would not allow his only grandson to be with anyone who was not Korean.